here? I've just been reading quickly on your comments, and I don't know if I've got things slightly wrong. Oh, let me turn the volume down. I don't know if I've got things slightly wrong. I meant to do for 9:15, so if I set it up wrong, I'm really sorry. Hi Rich Mitch. I'm gonna just quickly have a look at the angle of the camera because I'm not quite sure if I want to move it slightly. That'll do. That'll do. Say hello everyone. I'm Claire, aka Smurfy Girly. Hopefully you know that. And who are you? Who's here? Say hello. What are you wearing? Let me know what your scent of the night is and what your drink of the night is. I am celebrating the fact that I've just done 4 night shifts and I've got 3 days off, but that's half a day spent sleeping. So back to work on, where are we now? Yeah, back to work on Thursday. I don't, what day is it? Is it Monday today? Yes, Monday. So back to work on Thursday. Yes, that's how it works. Thursday. Cheers, everyone. So this is a vodka and Diet Coke. I made a slight boo-boo in that I hadn't eaten until about half an hour ago all day. And I started drinking before I'd eaten. So I'm a slightly tiny bit tipsy. But I'm not too bad. I'm all right. Now I've eaten, I think that's helping out because I was a bit squiffy, but I'm okay now. Dancing around I was. It was fun. Alexa was providing the tunes. Right, let's say hello to everybody. JLW, excited about this topic. Excellent. Violet fragrances. I wasn't sure if it was going to get that much interest. I know quite a few people that do love violet perfumes, but I don't know if it, some of the chaps maybe not so much, I don't know, but completely tubed. Hello Angle, it's perfect, thank you. Where's the cat? The cat's literally just down there. Sorry about the noise. Rain on plastic, great noise that. Rich Mitch is fuming because other people have got wrenches, aka spanners. Sorry, Rich, you're not special anymore. You are. You'll always be special to me, though. JLW wearing Sketch from Maison Violet and drink is coffee as it's only 1 p.m. Fair dues, fair dues. I've got a Maison Violet here. However, it's not Sketch because obviously Sketch is not a violet perfume. However, I love everything that house has done so far. Tracy, you have to share your wrench. Guess what, Tracy? Tracy's got a wrench. Rich Mitch is drinking water, very healthy, good for you. I had my first water last night in days, and I realised I hadn't had any water, just drank coffee, and I was quite dehydrated, like prune-like, because I don't actually like water out the tap, even though that's my job, is providing excellent nutritional fresh water. I don't like it out the tap because it's got that funny smell. So I'll only have water at home with squash, and then at work we've got one of those machines that filters it, and I'll drink it at work. But someone's moved my receptacle, so I couldn't get water out of the thing because they don't provide plastic cups anymore because it's being more environmental. So I just skipped drinking water for a few days, and yeah, I felt a bit shit actually. So I still haven't had any water today though. I've had coffee and I've had vodka and Coke, so yeah, not great. But I definitely had at least 2 pints of water last night at work. Best I can do at the moment. Christy, hi all. Rich, I said behave. No chance of Rich behaving. Tracy's waiting for a comment to be deleted by Rich. Amy, hello Amy. Elise drinking Diet Coke, wearing Alien. Wonderful. Rich drinking Alien, wearing Diet Coke, of course. Catch my whiff, we're live. Okay, right, so anyone else want to share your scent of the night or day or whatever you are doing right now? If you're in the bath, let me know, because that's always fun to know. Or if you're doing anything else fun and naughty or whatever, let me know. And we are going to talk about violet fragrances. So whether that be violet as a floral note, and whether it be violet as a violet leaf. So a good example of a violet leaf fragrance for me is Fahrenheit. I love Fahrenheit. Violet leaf still smells violety, but it just has a green aspect to it as well. Paul Kyler's here. Hi Paul. So we're going to be talking about one of Paul's fragrances. Paul has an indie perfume house based in the States. So one of Paul's fragrances is right here, and we'll be talking about that very soon. Rich Mitch is wearing Promise and burning his Bois d'Argent candle. That's a little bit posh, Rich. Catch My Whiff is wearing Guerlain L'Homme Idylle Eau de Parfum. I love every single thing from the L'Homme Idylle line. I just love it. Really nice fragrances. Comfort and Senses trying out Lush Think Pink Body Spray, Tonka, Vanilla, Neroli and Lavender. Smells lovely, Tracy. I was very kindly sent by Lush their body spray called Let the Good Times Roll, which is buttery and honey and kind of caramelly, a bit like their Butter Bear fragrance. Really, really nice. Very, very strong. I sprayed my dressing gown with it, and that scent is never going away now. So every time I put my dressing gown on, I'm like, who's got honey? Where's the jar of honey at? And it's my dressing gown. Catch My Whiff. I love the Ideal Man line too. Rich Mitch, have you smelled the night? I think I've smelled the night and the Promise and don't like them because they're so Arabic and oudi. They are completely not my thing. Hollywood Silent Film. So Hollywood Silent Film, Andrew is wearing a Roses and Roses. I think it's called Rose and Roses or Roses and Rose. I can't remember. But he just reviewed that on the Eau de Cupcakes channel today. If you haven't seen it, have a look and find out all about Rose and Roses from Dior, which is the latest flanker from the Miss Dior line, I think. Jason's bucket list. Hi Claire, sorry I'm late. Don't worry, I was late as well. Oops. Thank God you came on. I was going to order a couple of bottles. You stopped me. How are you doing? Good hope. What were you going to order, Jason? Let's discuss this. Let's see what Jason was going to order and see if we need to intervene or not. JLW, Rich Mitch, yes, I really like it, but Promise is better. Okay, you're talking about Promise and The Night from Frederick Mull. Tracy, it's true, I have wrench. Oh my God, the cat is coming. She wants to get involved. Here she comes. Meow. Okay. Tracy is flexing her spannery muscles right now. Watch out, everyone, because you could get yourself in a timeout any moment now. Behave. Jason's bucket list. Mr. Smell has bought a couple of the barbershop ones from Executive Shaving. Oh, I saw that video. Okay, at least they're only cheapies. You can't go wrong, I think, with cheapies. So, that's good. Right then. So, does anyone... Hi, John Snow. It is scented snowdrops, isn't it, John? On Instagram. Could be wrong. Probably. Always wrong. Rich Mitch is on one tonight. Are you hangry by any chance, Rich? I'm getting those vibes from you. Have a snack. Maybe you need a Snickers. So, Violet, come on, throw your violets at me. Throw your violet perfumes at me. Throw your violet fragrances, men's, women's, unisex, indie niche designer. Throw them at me. Whether it be violent dominant or just violet playing a part, let's hear about them. So, Amy No says, Dusita Splendiris. Right then, let's start with that one. So, I was very kindly gifted that when I went to Essence, and I met up with Prisara from the company. She gave me a travel size of Splendiris, and their travel size is really nice actually. I'll show that to you. So you get a really nice presentation, lovely card, and has the poem on that's written by her father, who sadly passed away. So Splendiris poem is inspired by this poem. Splendiris fragrance is inspired by this poem. I write by the candlelight in a night wrapped by many layers of dreams. So very short and succinct poem, but quite open to interpretation. But let's smell the fragrance, because that's what we're here for. So this is definitely an iris and violet fragrance, and I think this one has the violet leaf, although I believe there's also violet itself. Oh wow, I've got a lot of comments here. I might not be able to keep up with all your comments. I'll do my best. So Splendiris is one of those chalky mineral fragrances that I love. I really do love anything that's a bit chalky. Reminds me of my diet as a child, but that's another story. Some of you might know now. There is this hint of greenery, but it's not like a forest floor. It's not like a tree. It's not like moss. It is, I guess, the violet leaf. So it's violety and green in a fresh way, with the beautiful iris and this chalky thing going on. It's a beautiful, light, transparent fragrance. It feels quite natural. Okay, let me just have a look at your comments. Right, Jon Snow, Burberry Touch, come on perfection. So Burberry Touch, I take it that's a violet fragrance. I don't know that one. Stefan, Chanel Missia. Chanel Missia is beautiful. It's a gorgeous iris fragrance. Iris violet, and I think it's rose as well, and maybe some woods in the background. Not too sweet, not too feminine. Really beautiful. I love a bit of Missia. Megan, Insolence, yes, Insolence. I've actually got the EDT here. That's the one I've got, Megan. My mum's got the EDP. I bought my mum the EDP, and I got this one on eBay as part of a bundle. And I'm not sure, actually, it's not my I like it a lot, and I think if you love violet, then you can't go wrong with EDT or EDP of Insolence. But I'm not sure it's one I'm going to reach for very much, but I'm going to come back to that one. Catch My Whiff, not sure if I have any violet frags. Have you not got any Fahrenheit anywhere? Catch My Whiff. Frag hacks in the house. Linda, Insolence, Fahrenheit, Treasure La Nuit Musk. Diamant. I've got a sample of Musk Diamant, but I didn't realise it had violet in it. I haven't given it a proper wearing yet, so I will definitely give that a try. Tracy loves the first spritz of Splendiris. Yeah, it is really, really nice. It's refreshing. It's almost like taking a dip in a green lagoon. It's not an aquatic, but it has that feel of a calm pond. Frag Hag, love violet, also in sweets. Yeah, me too. Any violet in any form at all, I'm happy to have. Love it. Rich Mitch is tomato, like a tomato leaf fragrance. What do you mean, like violet leaf, tomato leaf? Are they similar? Is that what you're saying? Jon Snow to Frag Hag, Parma Violet Sweets. I love Parma Violet sweets. They're so good. The chalky texture and the lovely sweet violet. Beautiful. Completely tubed. Green Irish Tweed is not bad. Not that I can say I'm able to identify violet leaf really. Yeah, I don't know really. It's got a green, it's definitely got the green vibe. Is it violet-y? I'm not sure. Megan is saying ultraviolet Paco Rabanne. That's discontinued. I really need to try that. I've heard great things about it. JG, Putain de Palace is stunning. I loved Putain de Palace. I had a bottle and then I got a cold, and then when I wore it, all I could smell was the cumin. And then after that, and I got better, but all I could smell was the cumin, and I just couldn't wear it anymore. But if they could just remove the cumin, Putain de Palace is a gorgeous violet scent, really sexy. Jon Snow, Burberry Touch is more violet flower, powdery and woody. It sounds lovely actually. That's how I like it. Catch My Whiff has Burberry Touch, nice and simple. Rich Mitch, have you got any Sisley? I don't. Is anyone else? Paul Kyler, love my bottle of Fahrenheit that I bought in the 80s. Working right now in Fahrenheit green hawthorn leather. That sounds really good. JG, Molinard Violette is a nice sweet green violet. See, I prefer my violets. I do love Fahrenheit, and I always love Fahrenheit in all its iterations. The Parfum and the original vintage formula being my absolute favourites. But in general, I don't really want my violets to be green. I do prefer them to be more floral or candied and sugary, but that's just my personal preference. Rich Mitch, do you like tomato leaf fragrances? I'm not sure. I find them really interesting. You don't see them that often, but when you do, it's a very distinctive scent, and it totally takes me back to my mum because she grew tomatoes in a greenhouse, and then when you stepped inside that hot greenhouse with the tomatoes literally everywhere, it was a really distinct scent. So it's kind of like a childhood memory for me, or a young teenage memory. I think there's a fragrance by, it's a cheap one as well. It's who's that designer? Julian McDonald? Is it Julian McDonald? Might be Julian McDonald. There's a designer fragrance, really really cheapy, that's got tomato leaf. It's quite a nice rendition of tomato leaf. JG saying the cumin is part of the beauty. I totally get it, and it's part of the story. It's called Putain de Palace, so it's basically supposed to smell like prostitutes who've got a little bit of body odour and perfume on, sort of leather, all sorts. It's really interesting, but the cumin I just couldn't deal with. Once it became too strong to my nose, I lost my love for Putain, sadly. Christy never had a Parma Violet sweet. Is that only an English thing? I think there's a sweet that's probably quite similar over in the States. I can't remember what they're called now. Someone help me out on that. But there's it's a chalky, powdery, hard sweet, and you crunch it and then it gets all chalky in your mouth. You says, where are you from? Why do I hear a British accent? It's because I'm British. I'm here in the UK. That's why it's raining. Catch My Whiff has Choco Violet. Haven't worn it yet. I really need to know how that smells. Really interested. Tracy from Comfort and Scents. She has the same with her granddad's greenhouse. A lovely memory. JG, Molinard is simple. So Molinard Violette is simple but a bit fruity and green. It's a bit of a solid floor but pretty and natural. Jon Snow, CKB or CK All I think has CK All I think has tomato leaf. I'm not sure myself. Someone else might know. Right, okay. Right, so we've done Splendiris, and I think I'm going to start spraying something else. Let's try, so we've got Paul Kyler in the house. So, Paul's fragrance, where have I put it? Here it is. Paul's fragrance, I've got a sample here, and it's called Violet Chocolatier. Violet Chocolatier. So, For those of you who love a gourmand and you like the idea of chocolate and violet together, this might be for you. So let's give it a spray. Woo! So this completely takes me to a box of chocolates, and you can get chocolates, you can get rose creams that are covered in chocolate. You can also get violet creams covered in chocolate. This smells like both, so it doesn't just smell like violet chocolates. It smells like rose chocolates and violet chocolates in the same box, all wafting up together. There's this hint of soapiness, which is exactly what you get when you bite into a chocolate violet. So you've got the creamy violet centre that's got that perfumey aspect to it, because it is violet after all, and violet is perfumey. So when you bite into a chocolate violet cream, you get this kind of soapy element, and I get that from this fragrance. So if you wanted exactly the rendition of a chocolate violet, this is spot on. It's absolutely delicious. Just reading your comments. Eugene's in the house. Hi Eugene, hashtag whackpack. Thank you very much. What I've done with my hair, I've kind of flattened it right out. Thank you. John, Paul Kyler, C. Howard's Violet Candies. My perfume really has the notes of this. So if anyone knows C. Howard's Violet Candies, that is what this perfume is supposed to smell like. It is absolutely delicious if you love violet chocolate sweets. Jon Snow, that sounds gorgeous, Claire. It really is. Jesus, the rain is so soothing. By the way, what do you recommend? Buy 5 or 10 ml samples of more expensive, unique designer niche fragrances, or just buy a bottle of a cheaper designer maybe every month. So here in my journey now, I've obviously been into fragrances quite a long time, so I'm not interested in owning anything that I don't love. I don't care about the price. I mean, obviously I care about the price level in terms of what can I afford, but I don't worry about how much it costs me as to when I choose to wear it. So I don't look to have cheapies in my collection, because I don't need, I've got enough fragrance to last me forever and longer. So I don't look for a cheapie that I can wear to work. But that, obviously that might be something that you do or not, I don't know. My personal preference is just to sample, and if you can get bigger samples, I think it helps, because if you get a small sample that's only 1-2 mils, it's not enough to give yourself a full wearing to actually test how well it lasts and projects on you, etc, etc. So I would advise, if you can get small decants of whatever it is you're interested in, give them full wearings. Make sure you use up the whole lot before you make that decision. I say that, I don't always do that myself. Sometimes I just can't help myself and I buy a full bottle based on half a day's wearing. But just wear samples, decants, and then whether you buy one bottle 1 month, don't buy anything for 3 months, or whether you buy 3 bottles in 1 month, obviously depends what you love and depends what your budget is, I think. I don't think there's really a way to be too structured about it, but that's just me, that's my opinion. Megan, sounds like Violet Ganache, Violet Chocolatier. Yeah, there goes the cat. She loves chocolate, but I don't think she'll be fooled by a fragrance. What's this? See, she is sniffing it. You can't see. She's sniffing it, but with not the same interest she sniffs real chocolate. So she's not fooled. JLW, Paul Kyler's perfumes. His house is called Kyler Perfumes. I'll just double check that actually. Where's my... Oh no, it's not. It's PK. It's PK Perfumes. PK Perfumes. JG, oh, I remember Nishane's Viola is one of my current favourite florals, so lush. I just looked that up the other day actually. I haven't tried it. Is it, I remember that I read something in the notes and I thought, oh, it might not be for me, but I can't remember what that was now. Rich Mitch just got Aramis Havana, old school AF. Old school AF. Let's not start swearing just yet. I saw Dan mention that in his video actually. Just I watched that today. Natalie Knight, I love violets. Find the smell relaxing. Yeah, it is a really relaxing scent, and it's really strange, but a lot of people love violet. It's really unusual, and it seems to be getting a lot of love at the moment. I wouldn't say it's hashtag trending, but there's a lot of people talking about violet perfumes at the moment, and it's always been one of my favourite notes. So that is Violet Chocolatier. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It probably doesn't do massive amounts of changing on your skin, but if you just love a pure gourmand chocolate violet with, I don't know if there's rose in there, but it feels to me like there's a little bit of rose as well, and it's very, very smooth. It's extremely smooth. Then that might be your thing. But it's just this soapy element as well. Beautiful. Ah, Lizzie. Hello, Lizzie. Lizzie of Rose and Jones is in the house. We were just chatting on Instagram earlier. I'm glad you can make it, Lizzie. Jason's bucket list, sorting mine out now, as I do have a few that I'm indifferent about. There isn't much I hate, but I'm finding my way. I don't mind a cheapie. Yeah, I don't mind a cheapie as long as I love it as much as everything else in my collection. Otherwise, it won't get any use. That is just me. That's just me. Let's have a swig. It's time for a swig. Everyone, take a swig. Let's all swig together in mutual swigginess. Cheers. Whatever it may be. Coffee, water, juice, squash. Okay, John, one of my faves. I've tried a few with Iris. They seem to go very well together. Oh, meteorites. I think we're talking about meteorites. I've actually got the makeup on my face at the moment. So meteorites, the little pearls, the pearlescent pearls. I just put a little bit. You won't really see it. Just to give myself a tiny bit of shine there. And there's a tiny bit in the corners of my eyes. Meteorites. The smell of the makeup is beautiful. Jason's bucket list. I do think all artistic business, there is a level of the king's new clothes. Yeah, I think if we kind of go on to, I did a video just yesterday, the day before, about whether does niche equate to quality, and I think there is in some niche brands there is an element of the Emperor's New Clothes. Not in all, but in some. Personally, I like the indie brands who are very transparent about their ingredients, who the perfumer is, and they talk about the processes. And I think if you look at most of the brand owners, the indie houses, you won't see any of them driving Ferraris. Just saying. So I love the transparency of some, and I'm not saying all indie houses are the same, but I love the transparency of some of the indie houses, like 4160 Tuesdays, where, you know, they're not making millions of pounds, but they are bottling their passion, their expertise, their love and their knowledge, and putting it out there at a reasonable price that you can afford, and they're not ripping anyone off. And you are personally, I'm happy to pay for a fair price for an artisan perfume. That's just me. We're all different. No judgment here. So I'm going to crack open a brand new bottle of Smirnoff. So I've just finished off a small bottle that I had from before. So opening a new bottle is always exciting in perfumery. Actually, is it new? I might have already started it. That's hilarious. Anyway, but opening a new bottle of perfume is a bit more exciting. Let's just say that. Yeah, I think I'd already opened this one, so yeah. Oh, well, there'll be a new bottle of Coke to open in a minute, so that'll be exciting. This is the old one, look. Hope it doesn't get discontinued. That could be a problem. Right. I don't know if there's enough Coke in there, so I'm just going to have a swig and taste it. That'll do. That'll do. Okay, just catching up with your comments then. John 7, I love Violet and Violet Leaf. You're in the right place then, John. Oh, Lizzie's on the Lemsip. Oh, that's no good. I hope you get better soon. Jason's bucket list. Do you gargle? Lizzie, it's up to you if you want to answer that, or you could always put him in timeout if you want. So John 7 saying that they're not the same. Violet smells more powdery while Violet Leaf smells more fresh. Yes, definitely. So Violet Leaf definitely has the greenery of the leaf. And Violet is basically, Violet I think just comes from, you can only really get it as synthetics. It's ionones. And ionones are also in iris, which is why sometimes an iris fragrance will smell like violet even if violet is not listed, because iris does contain ionones. There you go, there's a little fact for you. I'm sure you all knew that anyway. Rich is taking a sip of his D-squared potion. Oh, you've done this before, Rich. Take a sip of my D-squared potion. It'll make you fall in love. So Lizzie's apparently... Jason wants to be put in the naughty corner. Anyone ever tried Tom Ford's Black Violet? It's not a new one, but I never hear it mentioned. It sounds so cool. So Black Violet, I do have a sample somewhere, and I do not know where it is. It got reissued at an expensive price quite recently. So back when I was in Harrods, probably going back less than a year ago, but quite a while ago. And they reissued Black Violet, but they popped the price, like, I say pop the price, they like raised the price massively. But I got chatting to the guy that was working for Tom Ford, and he was really awesome, really down to earth. It did not make me, sometimes sales assistants in Harrods and in posh places can make you feel a bit like, but he was lovely. And we got chatting, and he gave me decanted me a small sample of Black Violet, and it's nice, but I can't really remember. I didn't fall in love with it, we'll say that. I've got it somewhere, I just need to find it. Jason's bucket list. Some of the very expensive brands are niche, smell vile. Who wants to smell of mouldy goat's cheese and horse poo? That is a very good point, but some people do. Some people do. Put your hand up now, class. Let me know if you want to smell like poo or mouldy goat's cheese or anything else. John 7, Violet smells more floral. I think they're both kind of powdery. I think it depends really. It depends how they're paired as well. What sort of composition you've got. Lizzie, I have a little violet gin just to be sociable. That is perfect. Have your violet gin and burn your violet incense. So I was chatting with Lizzie earlier, and she sent me a picture of these and said, oh, I think you'll like these. I'm going to burn my violet incense. And I was like, snap. Got them as well. Violet incense are quite cheap, and they give off quite a deep violet. I actually keep them in my toilet to cover up the smell of other people using my toilet, because obviously I don't smell. So yeah, I keep those in my loo, and I burn incense in my loo to keep it nice and fresh. Natalie, you don't have to spend lots of money as advertisement too. More goes into the juice and the packaging. Yes, definitely. Catch my whiff. Turns out I have 5 violet flower frags. Do share them, then catch my whiff. Megan, we could do vodka comparisons too. That would be fun. Yeah, all true violet lovers need violet incense, definitely. They were quite a recent discovery of mine. I went to the shop down in the high street near where I live, and I get there's a particular brand, I've forgotten what they're called, but they do a really nice vanilla that actually smells of vanilla. When I buy cheap incense, more often than not, all you smell is smoke. And these vanilla ones are really nice. You actually smell vanilla. And then the lady in the shop recommended. I said, "Oh well, I like violet. I don't suppose you've got anything violet." And she said, "Oh, these are really good." So that's why I got them. And they are that you can actually smell violet when you burn them, which I love. So, shall we smell some more violet stuff? I tell you what, let's smell a shit violet. Let's smell one that I hate. You might not hate it, by the way, but I hate it. So I found this today. It's Angel. It's Violet Angel. I think it was a limited edition. Definitely discontinued now. And I sprayed some on this hand earlier. It's much improved on how it was when I first sprayed it. This stuff is vile. Violet. It's vile. It's Angel, which I don't really like anyway, to be fair. I know some people love Angel. I don't. Because the patchouli overdose is too much. This is disgusting. It's better now. It's absolutely fine now, but it's taken a good hour or so to get there. Now it's kind of like a musky patchouli with a bit of sweetness. It's a bit nondescript. When you first spray it, the patchouli overdose is horrendous, and I don't get a lot of violet from it. And then I got curry. It got quite a strong. Again, it was like a cumin note. Sorry, foul. Violet Angel. If anyone in the UK wants that, just let me know. But don't blame me when you hate it. Amy, never even heard of Violet Angel. Angel has a weird menthol chocolate note. JLW, yuck, it sounds awful, how disappointing. That is my opinion. Also, bear in mind, I don't like any of the Amen series. So if you like the Amen series, you might actually like that. But yeah, Angel's never worked for me. And that to me is foul. Sorry. Okay now, actually. It really is. Smells quite clean now, but for the first hour or so, pretty disgusting. Paul Edmonds, Violet disguised by imaginary authors is okay. I think I smelt it briefly in a shop, but it didn't grab me enough to explore it or get a sample. Lizzie is apologising for putting Frank into timeouts. She spilt gravy on her phone and wiped it away. That is absolutely hilarious. Lizzie, your spanner is a weapon of mass destruction, and you need to use it with a little more discernment, because that is shocking behaviour. Poor Frank. Oh, that's hilarious. Sweetie, don't knock my drink over. So Sweet is back. Sweet is back. JG, has anyone tried Violet Ida by Miller Harris? I've tried it. I think I've got a sample somewhere. Couldn't find it. To me, it was just pure. It was very irisy. It didn't have enough sweetness. Didn't really smell that violet-y. I remember when that came out. Sweetie, she's knocking the samples over. When that came out, Violet Ida, I was desperate to try it, and it took me a few weeks, if not longer, to finally get to smell it. And I was disappointed because it wasn't violet-y enough. It smelled very irisy. It's a very nice, if you like, a powdery iris fragrance, but it wasn't what I expected or wanted. Anyone else tried it? Lizzie, wetting myself laughing. Completely tubed. What are your thoughts about grey flannel? I'm not sure I've even tried it. I might have done. I'm sure Dan's got it. I think I probably did try it once, but I can't remember. I would imagine. Is it anything like Fahrenheit? I know it's a violet leaf, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really know. Short answer. Not sure. Need to try it again. Jason's bucket list. Doesn't get the hate on grey flannel. It's long lasting and it's great. Okay, I'm just going to drink. Right, let's see. Paul Edmonds, Violet and Amber Absolute by Jo Malone. I was just thinking today, I'm sure Jo Malone have done a violet one now and I've not tried it. Has anyone tried that one? Because I really want to try that. Although I think I saw a review and it was a bit underwhelming. It might have been Yana from Tom Elise who didn't think it was all that. I could be wrong though. Someone didn't think it was all that. JLW wasn't quite violet enough for me. Yeah, that might be it. I'm going to seek it out. I'm definitely going to put that on my list of things to try. Let's go with some pure violets. And let's go with some violet hairspray. Does anyone want to know what I mean by... Does anyone want to tell me what they think I'm going to spray when I say violet hairspray? Olfactory Records, the original Curbside Violet by Lush was amazing. I had an oil of that, but I did find it a bit too green for my taste, not sweet enough. But it definitely had a good dose of violet in it. Jason's bucket list. What's your thoughts on single note fragrances such as Jo Malone Grapefruit? I tried it in summer, took to it, but would it get boring? I think it depends, because some single note fragrances still have development, because even a solitary ingredient on your skin has some development. So from my point of view, as long as it changes while you're wearing it to some degree, I wouldn't get bored of it. But I do shy away from solid notes, as they call them, because I do worry that it's going to be a bit, just one thing. If it's just jasmine, that's not going to excite me too much. So like Pomelo Paradis from Atelier Cologne, you could think, well, is it just grapefruit? But it's not sold as a solid note anyway, but it's got some supporting notes and it's interesting enough to keep me happy. Elise, it's a rumour that Perfume are making changes with notes. iFrag 49 online I read about. I think if you talk about IFRA, yes, there is an IFRA rule now, that a new rule, so basically everyone has to reformulate by a particular time next year. Not everyone has to reformulate. Certain fragrances will need to be reformulated if they have certain ingredients at certain levels, because there's new rules. So you will find that quite a few fragrances will be reformulated. Not the perfumer's fault, not the house's fault, but it's down to the government, and then I think IFRA are like an in-between. So IFRA act, from my understanding, IFRA are not the enemy. IFRA act as an in-between between the perfume industry and the government. So IFRA will try and help the industry and sort things out so that it's not as damaging to the industry as it could be if the government just suddenly said, right, I want to ban all of this or all of that. That's my understanding, but I have a very, very basic understanding. But yes, there's going to be a lot of reformulations in short. So, does anyone want to have a guess what my next perfume is going to be? And all I'm saying is violet hairspray. Someone tell me what they consider a violet hairspray scent. Here we go. Megan says, hairspray for me, Moschino, cheap and chic, but it's not a violet perfume. What's the one I like? It's so chic. Oh so chic. I was talking about that just the other day with my friend Sue. It was a signature scent of mine for a couple of years when I was in my early 20s. from Moschino. Olfactory Records, there was a Comme des Garçons violet thing with Pharrell Williams. Yeah, that was called Girl, and I've still not smelt it, so I don't have that one. Paul Edmonds Violetta by Zara looks to be 100% violet alone. That sounds nice. I mean, I'd like a violet perfume that's just pure violet that you can layer. So I will look into that one. Chris just got in. I heard Sweetie was streaming live. Yeah, where's she gone? Oh, she's literally just down here looking out the window at the rain. But she is, in effect, she's streaming. Benjamin's from Scented Tar is here. Hi, Benjamin. He's saying Eau de Gaga. Note, so the fragrance I've got here is Insolence Eau de Toilette from Guerlain. So this is Insolence. To me, this is hairspray. Hairspray and violet. It's an absolute blast. It's a ball. It's a laugh. It's flirtatious. It's in your face. Yes, it's a bit fruity. It just reminds me, and I don't mean it in a disparaging way, but it reminds me of being younger, watching my mum get ready for a rare night out, and she would like back comb her hair and then spray a ton of hairspray on it. And it reminds me of the hairspray, but it also smells like violets. But it's very bombastic, it's very loud. Jon Snow is saying that Girl by Pharrell Williams is a fragrance. Oh, excuse me. It's a fragrance. I'm never sure if I like it or not. It does have violet. It goes odd sometimes. I like it, then I don't. It's definitely interesting. You can get that super cheap sometimes. I think places like TK Maxx and stuff will have it for like £12. So I guess you can't go wrong. Olfactory Records is saying it's syrupy, if I remember. Scent Sense. Hey there, how's it going? Hi, Scent Sense. So, just smelling at the moment then. Insolence by Guerlain, and this is the Eau de Toilette. This one's a bit lighter than the Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum does have more depth. When I was choosing which one to buy for my mum, I tried both, one on each hand, and I did prefer the Eau de Parfum. Just felt like it was a bit richer, of course it's a bit longer lasting, a little more understated, a little more sophisticated. This is bombastic, in your face, violets, hairsprays, and some fruity, like red berries or something. It is, if you love violet, I think you need it in your life. I wonder if there's aldehydes. I don't know if anyone knows if there's aldehydes in here, but it's got like this really fizzy bright top, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's a touch of aldehydes, but I think as a reference violet, from everything we're talking about today, that's definitely a reference violet fragrance, and one that you can find, if you haven't tried it, you can very easily find it in department stores. Peter Corcoran, hello, late to the party. Do you know what? It's always fashionable to be late. I was late for my own party this time. Cheers, Peter. What's your scent of the night? Drink of the night? Oh, so Insolence. We're going to put that away now. Insolence, I think, is... Oh, it's almost got a cherry-ish vibe to it as well. It's fascinating, actually. I was like, not sure if I'm going to keep that, but I think I will. So, let's see, what else have we got? If we talk about violet soliflores, so let's talk about this one. This is just called Violet. It's a cologne, Eau de Cologne Extra, and the company is called Cadentia. And this is a splash bottle, I need to decant it really so I can spray it, because I do prefer to spray. Spray rather than splash if I can. So this is, I think it's £12 for 125 mils. The company's based in France, and this is a violet cologne. Lizzie, Claire's never late, nor is she early. She arrives precisely when she means to. You are so right there, Lizzie. Thank you. Forza Juve. Hello. How I'm dominant man. Okay, there was someone like to wield their wrench if they want. I think it might be necessary. Paul Edmonds, isn't that the one you were using as a room spray? Not as a room spray, but I was spraying it on my... I must have put it in a... No, I was pouring it on my pillows, and sometimes just literally like pouring loads in my hand and throwing it on myself at bedtime. It smells a little bit like cherries, so it's definitely a violet fragrance, but it also smells a little bit like cherries, maybe a little bit like medicine, but like the best medicine. You know when you're little and you're told you have to take your medicine and you're like, I don't want to take it, and then when you take it, it's like, wow, that's amazing, I love that, what the hell is that, give me more. It's one of those, it's got this medicinal cherry violet thing. It's quite light. I probably wouldn't really wear it as a fragrance, but only because it's not going to last too long, because it is a cologne. Sort of thing I would just wake up in the morning and chuck some on me before my shower, just for something to smell really nice to my nose. Yeah, Jason's bucket list. Actually, the company, you can buy pumps from the company at the time you buy the sprays. They have pumps that fit. So it's just like, I just grabbed a few colognes and didn't bother. But yeah, you can actually buy, I think you can buy pump sprays, or you can buy decant bottles from them. It could be that. Okay. Some Lord of the Rings chat going on. I think I missed something though, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Christy, Indigo Vanilla sounds great. Christy, tell me more about that. Who's it by? Is that Mancera? Tell me more about Indigo Vanilla. Or is that Shelley Waddington's line? Okay. So that one then is Violet. They're based in France. They're cheap. They're colognes. I think if you wanted just something to just give you a lift, a violet hint, or even do some layering with it, it's really pretty. It's not just pure violet. It definitely smells like cherry, a little bit like cherry bakewells. And I love almond, and I feel like I'm getting almond from here. So I really recommend that. And as you can see, I've used that much, and I've only had it a few months. So, although to be fair, I am pouring it in my hand and then just like throwing it on myself and my pillows and stuff. But it is gorgeous. So if you like violet, you can't go wrong. £12 for 125 mils. But it's completely different to that, even though violet being the main component of both. Completely different. This is really mellow. This is really mellow. Oh, arriving when you mean to is a quote from Gandalf. Okay, I get you now. Okay. Well, I like it. I'm going to use it. That's me. Christy, Peter just said it. Is this the quote or... Oh, I'm getting lost with these comments. Ah, now I've pressed the button too long and I've lost the page. Here we go. Scrolling back up. So, Right. Natalie, you could scent clothes and linens with it. Yes, this is perfect for that. And you can get big bottles. This is 125 ml. You can actually get a 500 ml, and it's only 20. I think it's like 23 or 25 pounds. So you could put it in a big spray bottle and just scent your bedclothes, do your ironing, scent all your clothes with it, do whatever you want, just spray it on your curtains. Olfactory records, yes. Shelley Waddington's, yes, I had the trio actually in Indigo. Yeah, I had the 3 of them, but this is back when they launched, so we're going back quite a few years now. Probably, I'm guessing 2014, 2015, still quite early in my own niche journey. I got the set of 3, but they didn't quite do what I hoped they would. I guess I thought they were going to be a bit more gourmand, but I wouldn't mind revisiting them now. Freddie Turner, classic leather violet is Jolie Madame from Balmain. Haven't tried it, but I will seek it out. Jolie Madame. Olfactory records. I remember that was when I subscribed to you. Wow. Oh my God, you've been following me that long. That's crazy. I feel like I've come quite a long way from those days. I'm sure we all have, in our ability to pick out scents and describe them. Even so, I still find it quite difficult to describe fragrances. But yeah, I can't begin to imagine how those videos looked now if I had to look back at them. Oh, Frank has totally disappeared since I accidentally timed him out. Hope he's okay, but I remember him asking, do you prefer Bee or Gaia? Battle of the Honey Frags. Okay. Yeah, Frank, if you're still with us, Lizzie is very sorry that she timed you out, and it was an incident with Gravy, and she regrets it with every fibre of her being. And in terms of the honey fragrances, Gaia and Bee are... Gaia's like over there, Bee's over there. They are on completely different worlds. They're on different planets. My preference is Bee because I love gourmands, and I really love Bee. Gaia... Bee is about honey and everything to do with honey and bees and stuff. Gaia, honey is an aspect of the fragrance, but it's got loads of other components from different aspects. So I totally love Bee. Bee is my jam. Bee is my honey. Bee is my marmalade. So Bee's the one I love just because I love sweet fragrances. It's got vanilla in it. It's got heliotrope in it. It smells like the inside of a crunchy bar. So it's always going to be Bee for me. And Gaia, I like it. I really like the chalky elements of it. But actually, in terms of the honey, I feel like the honey is not a main player like it is in Bee. That's my answer. Natalie, Gravy is a cruel mistress. I actually had Gravy. Do you know what? I have Gravy once every 3 months on average probably, and I had Gravy tonight. So I feel like me and Lizzie are like we're properly on par, because B, we both had Gravy tonight, and I haven't had Gravy in a long time. But I got some chicken and some vegetables, roasted the lot, and I made a bit of gravy with the chicken juices as well, and it was actually really good. It was yum. Gravy for the win, even though it can sometimes get you in trouble and can alienate you from Franks. Can alienate you from the Franks of the world. Hopefully Frank will be forgiving. Lucy's saying Gravy and Violet, that's where the party's happening, people. Yeah, man. Cheers. Cheers to the Gravy and the Violet. Get on the gravy train. Get on the Violet gravy train. JLW, poor Frank. Frank, come back, Frank. You're not in any trouble. We miss you. We just need to know you're okay. If you're holding Frank right now, please let him go. Let him be free. you're not in any trouble. Okay, this needs to stop. Freddie, I think it's the violet leaf note that gives it the gasoline vibe. I think so too. I always say that, and I could be wrong, but whenever I describe Fahrenheit, I always talk about the Vaseline. I always talk about the violet leaf and how that gives it that petrol. I call it petrol, but you would call it that gasoline, that petrol vibe. I love Fahrenheit. It's so rugged and sexy. It's ridiculous. Benjamin's hashtag free Frank. Free Frank, free Frank. Poor Frank. Okay, that's a new hashtag. We'll have that trending in no time. Shall we smell some more violet stuff? Shall we? Right. I just need to look up the notes of one of these because I don't actually know if this one contains violet as such, but it smells like it does. So I'm just going to look it up in case. Oh. And I'm starting to get my bladder screaming, so I might have to leave you all on your own for a bit in a minute. But I'm just going to check if we have violet in this fragrance I've picked out. Here comes Sweetie. Hello, Sweetie. Because it smells like violet to me, but it might not have violet in it. Oh, it does. Okay, good. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Right. So, my next fragrance that contains violet, and I didn't look up any notes until just now, is Fruits of the Tree of Knowledge. You can't see it because the light's too bright. This is a 4,160 Tuesdays fragrance called Fruits of the Tree of Knowledge. And this one has violet in it. Woo! This is a very 4160 Tuesdays fragrance. It's like proper. This is what they do. This is the epitome of 4160. Because it's got some notes that Sarah McCartney loves. She loves to use the raspberry. I think she uses raspberry leaf absolute, or sometimes I've heard her call it raspberry ketone. I could be wrong, but this one has violet and cherry in it, and I'm finding quite often with the violet comes a cherry note, whether it's listed, whether you're expecting it or not, whether it's supposed to be there. Sometimes it just smells a bit cherry-like, but this actually on Fragrantica has a cherry note along with the raspberry and the violet. So Fruits of the Tree of Knowledge, we've got grapefruit, lemon, yuzu. Yuzu is a very expensive ingredient. We've got cucumber and melon, so it's quite a fresh top. Fruity, but not in an obviously citrusy way, because you have got different elements here, like the cucumber and the melon give it a completely different facet, but really it's raspberry, cherry, violet, more so than the fresher elements. Violet is not the major component here, but it is noticeable. As is the cherry, as is all the fruits. All the fruits. Let me check your comments. Can't just stare at Fragrantica all day long, can I? Peter Corcoran saying Fahrenheit was his first ever purchase in 1988. Wow. Fahrenheit. So many memories. Phaedra, hello everyone. Sentitar, yes, more violet. Rose and Jones, I can't believe I've never smelled meteorites or insolence. Well, there's your next mission. Next time you're out in a department store, smell the makeup, the little pastel coloured pale pearls. Smell that, and the actual meteorites that you can buy from Galan now is not the same as. So if you get if you can find a vintage bottle, it's more like the makeup, but the current version has apple in it and it's not quite right. But Insolence, yes, try Insolence, try the EDT and the EDP and see what you think. Frank's back. Say hi to Frank, everyone. Welcome back, Frank. And Lizzie is very, very sorry for what happened. Woohoo! Oh, Frank, so happy to be back with a pack. Oh, Dan, I swear you wait to do these until I'm driving home from work on purpose. Never, never, Dan. I'd love for you to be here and present for the whole duration of a live. That you pop in and you make your presence known and then you bugger back off again. Peter, Missia from Chanel is another good violet. Yes, Missia is gorgeous, understated, sophisticated, beautiful violet fragrance. I think most people agree Missia is beautiful. Leo, hello, just got home. I'm about to open a couple of cheapies that I just received. What are they? Let us know, Leo. Cheers. Get yourself a beverage, put your feet up, get your comfy pyjama bottoms on, and tell us what you're sniffing. Jon Snow, whoever asked earlier about darker violet fragrances, just had that Lightning Bolt, Black Violet, Roberto Cavalli Uomo. It's a violet and honey fragrance that's bloody lush. Oh, I've not heard of that one. Is it marketed to men or women? Jason's bucket list. Fahrenheit is one fragrance I remember the first time I smelt it. It was a fragrance guy in our group. Then my bestie wore Fahrenheit, made my Kuros old hat. Yeah, I think Kuros from my era, Kuros was kind of like the thing that my dad would wear on the occasional night out. My parents didn't go out much at all, but if they did, Dad wore Kuros. I think there was a couple of others, Dracar Noir. I think every day he had like a splash of Old Spice. And Mum, I think she had Poison at one point. And then when me and my brother were old enough to have enough money to buy her a present, I remember getting her Tender Poison, so the green one that's now discontinued. I think we just thought it was a safe bet because she already had Poison, so we assumed that a flanker is probably going to be similar but slightly different, so that would do. But she seemed to like it. Jon Snow is marketed to men, but it's unisex, so that's the Roberto Cavalli one. Can be a little bit subtle and mellow, but it does smell very nice. Peter, make me feel old. Sorry, Peter. Catch My Whiff, Green Irish Tweed, Narciso Rodriguez for him, YSL Lom, Zegna Uomo, Burberry Touch. They're his favourite violet leaf frags. Frank Bozhnikov's Purple Hat is one of my favourite frags. Yes, I bought a bottle for Dan and I keep borrowing it back, so yeah, my bottle that I bought Dan, that's not really mine, is out there somewhere. I love it, absolutely love it. My only wish is it projected a little bit more. I love how it smells, but it's very close to my skin after half an hour or an hour or so. I just wish it was a bit more louder. Jason's bucket list. Everyone in the end was wearing Kuros. Recently, an old girlfriend told me she bought her husband it so she could think of me. What a player! Oh my god, that's a bit naughty. I think she wants to do more than smell you. Okay. Right, so that one then was Fruits of the Tree of Knowledge. So this one, by 4160 Tuesdays. So as I said earlier, it's a fruity berry scent with some violet. It feels like there's some depth in here. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some darker notes. So those of you that are looking for a darker violet, it does feel like there is a bit of darkness under the surface. I can't see any real dark notes listed. There is sandalwood. That's about as heavy as it gets. There's rose. But to me, it feels like there might be something a bit darker, like a darker woods or patchouli or something that's just supporting everything and stopping it being too sweet. So that is a dark, to me, that's a darker violet, but it's not mega dark. It's not gothic dark. It's just darker than fresh violet, if that makes sense. So, Megan, how about the original Lolita Lempicka Eau de Parfum? Funny you should say that, Megan. So, this is the Lolita Lempicka Eau de Parfum that Megan is referring to. This is the original version, so not the new version, which I think is called Premiere or something like that. And it has a little bite taken out of the apple. This doesn't have a bite taken out of it. And this has violet, almond, licorice, ivy. I should, in theory, really love this fragrance. But there's a couple of things that stop me wearing it too much. I'll tell you what they are. So, I like it. I definitely like it. But it feels like all the notes are blended together to perfection. Like they've been put in a blender and you put the blender on and you leave it on for absolutely ages. And it's all like so blended, so blended. But I don't get any development on it. So what I get from the start is what I get almost to the end. And it's a beautiful, it's such a beautiful smell. Violet, almond, vanilla, a bit of woods, a hint of something green, lots of licorice. Licorice to me is the main player, but it's really clean. It smells like if you told me there was tobacco leaf or cardamom or something else in here, I would believe you. It's got that Le Male thing going on. It might be a bit of wormwood. It's very clean, smooth and musky. It's absolutely beautiful, but I don't get any development from it. So the problem is I just get bored after a time. I'll wear it, I'll think it's beautiful, and then I'll be like, is it going to do anything else? But it is beautiful though, and I love the bottle. Right, let's catch up on some comments. Amy, I was wondering when someone was going to mention Lolita Lempicka. JLW, have an old bottle from before it's reformulated, love it. Amy, I don't care for the fragrance, but the bottle is gorgeous, reminds me of an enchanted fairy tale or something. Absolutely, I love the bottle. I got a bit obsessed with all the bottles. There was a time I was going to try and collect them all, and then I kind of gave up, so I've only got 3. Rose and Jones, Lizzie, if you had the opportunity to create your own fragrance, would it be violet-based one? What other notes would you use? I'm actually having a fragrance made. I'm not going to give away too much yet, but there will be more information coming soon. So I'm working with an indie perfumer. She sent me an email today. I need to respond to that. She sent me a few mods recently, going back a few weeks, and I'll tell you what's in there. So there is, the main note is pear, but actually it's pear drops, so like old-fashioned boiled sweets, pear drops, and there is a Parma Violet note as well. There's also, it's kind of like a nostalgic fragrance going back to your childhood. So think about a bag of sweets, a paper bag filled with your favourite sweets that you bought in the shop with 10p 20, 30 years ago. And then imagine that you take your bag of sweets and you go for a walk, and you've just been allowed out because it was raining and now it's not. So you go out in the rain, and you go out and it's no longer raining, but you've got that rain on the pavement, maybe rainbow in the sky and sunshine. So we're talking weather, we're talking petrichor, and we're talking vintage sweets, that kind of thing. That is the fragrance, and with any luck, all going well, could be out in May. So a little way to wait because there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and we haven't finalised it yet. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Okay, who's mentioning Le Bleu there? Freddie Turner, Old School Violet equals Le Bleu by Guerlain. Yes, I tried to find, I've got decants of the Le Bleu's EDP, EDT, and Vintage Parfum. And they're somewhere, I must have put them away, somewhere special and safe. I can't find them. So I was going to bring those out for this video, but I can't find them. But they have a beautiful violet note, definitely. Jon Snow just tried Cerruti 1881. Pink one has violet, but it's quite dull and dyes a death too quick. It has a nice violet and iris. Benjamin bought that for his mum last Christmas. Decent designer, I think she likes it. Catch My Whiff, I think my first ever purchase was Tommy in 95. It could have been Eternity, I don't fully recall. I had female versions of both of those. So I had Tommy Girl, and I got through lots of bottles. Tommy Girl is a stunning rose fragrance. And I also got through a lot of Eternity, but at the time it was expensive, so it was a night out clubbing fragrance for me, Eternity. And I used to wake up the next day and it was so strong, I could still smell it, even though there wasn't a smoking ban back then. So I would be in clubs and pubs where everyone was smoking around me, and I'd wake up stinking of cigarette smoke and Eternity. That stuff was nuclear, the female version at least. JLW, really like the anise and licorice. I like A Memoir better. That's a Caron. I need to test that again. I need to get a sample of that really. I tried it in the Caron boutique, but I need to properly try it because it gets a lot of love. Violet is more prominent, present, and has a mint note up front. That sounds really nice. I've not tried Le Bleu yet. It's on my to-try list. Lizzie, ooh, spoiler alert, how exciting. It's so exciting. Amy, will your perfume ship to the US? Actually, Amy, I think honestly, I can't answer for sure, but it may well be that there's some logistical things going on in the background, but I believe that it will actually be shipped from the US. So the perfume that I'm working with is currently in the process of moving, or will be moving, from the UK to the US. So if there's any way we can make it available to ship to both US and UK, then we absolutely will, because I really want, obviously it's up to you if you want to buy it. I'm not going to be massively pushing it, but I would love all of you to have the opportunity, if you want to try it, to be able to try it. So there will be samples. I wouldn't expect you to blind buy, but yeah, it's going to be good. Jason's bucket list. I'm going to buy it, Claire, for my wife, but I will sneak a few sprays. Rich Mitch, shout out to all the pairs. Yeah, love a pair. Peter Corcoran, flying saucers. Not sure I'm following. Tracy, sounds lovely. Oh, flying saucers, the sweets. Maybe there might be just like that little bit of a sherbety-esque, sherbety, citrusy-esque note in there to a small degree. Jon Snow, May, Claire, time for my birthday. Oh, that's good timing. Tracy, the spanners are rising up. Yeah, it's like the spanners are taking over. Lizzie, sounds amazing. Definitely buy it. So excited for you. Thank you. I'm really excited. Freddie, vintage Le Bleu Parfum is amazing. Was given a gift of some recently. Lucky you. Yeah, I just had a very small decant, and yeah, it's gorgeous. It makes me feel special and grown up when I wear it. I don't wear it too often because I don't feel grown up too often. But when I want to feel grown up, then I do. I'll seek that out because it's so good. Megan, Guerlain's Après Londe on my list of perfumes to try. That's another one I was looking for. I think all my Guerlain decants are somewhere hidden. because I have got a decant of that, and that's another one with violet, but doesn't have great longevity. And because I've only got a little bit, I haven't really properly tested it. Nick, talk and review. Hey Claire, hope you're well. Oh, great, thank you, Nick. Elise, I want Memo Paris Granada. Frank, is your perfume unisex? It is not going to be marketed one way or the other. My guess is more females will buy it than men, only because it's sweet and not that floral. The floral would come from the violet, but it's more in a candied violet sweet way. So as long as you're okay with a gourmand, you'll be okay with it, but it doesn't lean masculine in any way. So it's not got vetiver or leather or anything very masculine, but it does have a hint of earthiness that comes from this kind of weather accord that grounds it. So it's grounded, but it is a gourmand and it's quite sweet. So just depends, but it's certainly not marketed one way or the other. It's more about nostalgia, memories and sweet things. Jason's bucket list. I described it to my wife and she said, pay the lady. I love that. That's hilarious. My wife thanks you. She said she will never be crazy like us, but watching your videos made her think what she likes and willing to try different things. So never doubt what you give. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you. So I think now is the time for me to take a break. I'm going to take a wee break. And we'll pop that one. Oh, that's the Lolita Lempicka. So we'll pop that one down there. Talk amongst yourselves, and I will be back very shortly. Coming back. Hi, I'm back. Let's just check, see what you're talking about. Jason's bucket list, change of clothes. No, no time for that. Chris, now that Claire is gone, I'm ready for Sweetie's favourite violet frags. Sweetie, what's your favourite violet frags? She says she doesn't give a flying fuck about fragrances. Peter, come on, Sweetie, it's your time to shine. Sweetie, they're all calling Sweetie. Sweetie's favourite fragrance is probably tuna. Actually, I'd say it's chocolate, but it has to be real chocolate. She's not interested in like human food, fish, meat, whatever. I can safely put my dinner right in front of her, walk away, she won't touch it. But chocolate, I could open a chocolate bar from over the other side of the room and Sweetie will go and she'll come over. So she can sniff chocolate out at 100 paces. She loves chocolate. And crisps. You open a bag of crisps, I think the sound and maybe the smell, she loves crisps. But yeah, apart from that, she only eats her own biscuits and she's not interested in anything else at all. Right then, Amy, my cat doesn't care for any people food, except he goes into a frenzy whenever I open a can of tuna. So that cats are all different. You can't ever assume that just because one cat likes something, another will. Lizzie loves the Lolita Lempicka range. Favourite is the Eau de Toilette. Has no licorice and is lighter and airy and a lovely magical ivy. It's one of my most loved scents. Need to try that. I don't think I've tried that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think the licorice really overtakes everything in the Eau de Parfum. Jon Snow, does she eat the crisps? Yes, she does, but she's got this weird mouth setup. So because she's got that strange face, we'll say, she has trouble eating anything. So you have to make them really tiny, and then she'll try to eat them. Some of them will actually go in her mouth and get chewed. Others she managed to pick up with her tongue. She'd try and eat, and then the bit of food will go flying off. She's a bit awkward. She's a bit awkward, that one. But yeah. Right then, what have we got left? Let's stick with 416. Let's go back to 416 Tuesday. So this fragrance is called New York 55. And I actually reviewed this one yesterday. So I wore this yesterday, chucked a quick review up on my channel. And this is much like the other 4160 and the Lolita Lempicka, a very whimsical feel to it. So when you first spray it, there's this strange note that goes away really quickly that to me smells a little bit like patchouli. It's quite dark and thick, but it doesn't take too long and then it's gone and you've forgotten about it. The main body of the fragrance is rose, violet, musk, candy floss and raspberry. And they're all there in varying proportions throughout the wear of the fragrance. When you first spray it, once you get past the strange dark note that I really don't understand it, it's really weird. Once that's gone, and it's pretty much almost gone already, you get a tiny bit of a fizz, like a dusting of sherbet, citrus sherbet. Random citrus, like not anything specific, just generic citrus that's just giving it a little bit of a lift. And vibrant raspberry, rose, violet, and then later on you get the vanilla. The vanilla gets stronger as you wear it, and it gets a bit more powdery. But it is, to me, it's all about the rose and the violet and the candy, like the candy floss, the sugar, and then powdery vanillic. Really nice, very easy, very simple fragrance, pretty, sweet, lovely. So that's New York 55. Has anyone tried it? Richard Sanford saying hi. Hi Richard. Jason's bucket list. We often talk about what you do for a day job. Shift work, we can't work it out. If you're talking about me, what I do is I work for a water company and I work in a control room. So I look at, from a distance, I monitor on computer screens reservoirs. This is so boring. This is so boring. It's so not me. I monitor reservoirs and treatment works and the alarms that come in from things like chlorine going too high or too low, or security alarms, that kind of stuff, and just call out our the relevant people if there's an issue that needs calling out on. So yeah, it's a million miles removed from fragrances, but that's my job. That's why I do shift work, because it's a 365 day a year job. So yeah. So Jason's bucket list works in a prison and running a DJ and a lighting company. That's cool. What do you do in the prison? Are you a prison guard or do you something else? Tough job regardless. I knew someone that worked in a prison. Not the nicest or easiest job by any means. Mr. Will, like the new hairstyle, thank you. So, New York 55 is a very candy, sweet, fruity violet scent. Very easy to wear, easy pleasy fragrance. So let's try something else. Now, I don't actually know if there's violet in this one either. That I think there is. I'm just going to double check before I start talking about it. Let's find it on Fragrantica. And see if there's violet in here or not. It's all getting a bit slow, the old Tinternet. Yes. Okay. Yes, it's violet, so I can talk about it. So I've only got a decan, and this is called French Kiss, and it's by Guerlain. So it's one of their high-end line. It's not L'Art et Matière, it's the other line where you have Gourmand Coquin. What's the line called? I'll tell you in a second. Right. Let's see if it's on Fragrantica. Right, I'll give you the notes. So it's lychee, raspberry, violet, rose, white musk, vanilla, orris root and heliotrope. I don't know what the line's called actually. I'm sure one of you will know. I said Jason's bucket list, trained as a guard, but I run part of the education department. Considering previously I was sales and marketing director in IT, but no job is for life. Well, it sounds interesting, it sounds rewarding, if not, I'm sure, challenging. Got to go. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining in. Much appreciated, Jason's bucket list. Elixir Charnels, that's right. Thanks, Peter. So this is the Elixir Charnels line from Guerlain. It's called French Kiss, and to me it's a mixture of almond, cherry, violet. It's very lipsticky. It's very sweet and syrupy. Did I give you the notes? I think I did. I think I just read the notes out. My God, my memory. Yeah, you've got raspberry again, like you do in New York 55. It's not that far removed from New York 55, but this one's more syrupy. This one's more sugary, and New York 55 is more powdery. This has got heliotrope, So this has an almond-like floral note that New York 55 doesn't have either. And it has lychee. Has lychee and raspberry, so it has that fruitiness, but I would say that's quite similar to New York 55, the fruity aspects, but it's more syrupy, and the violet and the rose are very much intertwined to create, it's almost like their own unique note. Syrupy, lipsticky, fruity, sugary, almond beauty. Wore it the other day actually. I grabbed it, ran out the door quickly and had to take Sweetie to the groomers. Hadn't had a shower because I had to get up early to get Sweetie to the groomers, and I popped into a supermarket, bumped into an old friend from I hadn't seen for 10-15 years. We had a hug and she said, "Oh, you smell nice," and I was wearing French Kiss, which is this, and it really is beautiful. My only issue with the fragrance is it's a little bit linear. It's a very expensive fragrance. It is the high end of Guerlain, and if it had a bit more development I might be tempted to purchase, but it's a little bit linear. So for me, absolutely beautiful, but not one I reach for too much, because if I was to try and wear it all day I'd start to get bored of it. Richard, do you know that we're getting a new Dolce & Gabbana for men? No? Tell me more. What is it? Is it a brand new fragrance? Is it a pillar fragrance, or is it a flanker? Let me know. So this freaks me out. There's no windows open, but we get all this. I think that plastic roof is shit, quite frankly. I've got a breeze coming through the roof. Lizzie, New York 55 sounded amazing. Yeah, it's really nice. Really, really wearable. Just easy, simple. Peter, aren't they over £200? I think they are. The Elixir Chanel's, my guess is they're about the 230 mark euros, I think. I think if they're the same, I think they're similar price to the Parisienne line, so I think they're 230 to 250 euros. A lot of money. How is the longevity on French Kiss? I'm not entirely sure. The last time I wore it fully was a long time ago. So when I went to the supermarket the other day, I came home and showered, so I only wore it for about 3 or 4 hours. So I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty certain it's fine. Like, it's not bad. I think I would remember if it was terrible, but yeah, I don't really recall. Everyday products. I love Burberry Touch. It's nice violet perfume for men. Yeah, okay. A lot of you are talking about Burberry Touch, so I'm going to put that on my list to try. Richard, Hugo Scent Absolute's very, very nice fragrance for men. Is that the new one? Yeah, I think I've heard, yeah. I've heard about the ladies one. It's like a gourmand, but I don't know about the guys one. Peter Cochrane, I always thought that Iris Ganache was more violet than Iris. I get a hint of violet. I didn't bring it down because I decided that it's not violety from what I can smell. It's not violety enough. But yeah, I hear that a lot of people do say there's definitely violet notes in Iris Ganache. Lizzie, being a rose and violet lover, I thought I'd love Lipstick Rose by Frederic Malle. It didn't work for me. Definitely a lovely vintage style lipstick scent, but it's too waxy for me. I had a bottle of Lipstick Rose, and my only problem with it was it's a bit too sweet, just a touch too sweet, and again very linear. I get a lot of vanilla from it, and it was rose violet. I think New York 55 and Lipstick Rose are very much in the same ballpark, but New York 55 is a little bit more interesting because there's a little bit more going on, and Lipstick Rose to me smelled very much like rose, violet and vanilla, flat all the way through, like just flat, beautiful. And then after about an hour or so I'm like, okay, do something else now, I need more stimulation. JLW thought the same. everyday products do you like Narciso Rodriguez for men? The ones that I've tried, I like them for men. Like I wouldn't wear them myself, but I like the various Narciso Rodriguez ones that I've tried for men. I think they're a really nice and unique line. Aussie fragrance. Good morning, I'm at work but quickly sticking my ugly head. There's nothing ugly about your head at all. Hi Aussie fragrance, thanks for popping in. So that then is French Kiss by Guerlain. Maybe a bit too sweet for some tastes and a little bit linear for my taste, but still a beautiful violet rose fragrance, no less. So we are starting to get near the end of my collection, and I'm going to go with Violet Mallow from Solstice Scents next. So we have spoken about this one before. If you were present on my last chat, you may know my thoughts on this one. I didn't go too in depth though. So this was sent to me by Tracy from Comfort in Scents. I'm not sure if Tracy's still with us. Give us a wave, Tracy, if you're still about. So to me, Violet Mallow is not quite my taste. It has this soapiness to it. It's soapy and tiny bit green. It's very smooth. It's definitely a marshmallow thing going on in here. It's quite sweet. Marshmallow obviously is sweet. I think that's where we're getting the sweetness from, is marshmallow. And the violet. The violet's quite soapy. It's hard for me to say much more about this, except it's just not quite right for me. Not quite my taste. It could be if you just took an element out of it. It's very sweet. Sweet with a marshmallow. Yeah. Not sure. Not sure. I haven't given it a proper wear-in. I don't know what the development's like. But from what I have tried so far, it's not quite right for me. But it might be right for you. If you want a gourmand violet with marshmallow and a bit of soap, this could be just what you need. It's almost like being in a bubble bath full of a million bubbles and eating violet flavoured marshmallows, which doesn't sound like such a bad thing, does it? But yeah, that's Violet Mallow. So I'm going to leave that one. If anyone's got any comments on that or questions, then let me know if you've tried it. JLW, anyone tried Blanc Violette Histoires de Parfum? No, haven't even heard of that, so tell us more. Everyday products, just ordered some skincare products from Guerlain. Abeille Royale creams, some daily repair serum. Want to see if it's better than Chanel skincare products. I haven't really tried much from Guerlain actually in terms of skincare. So yeah, I'm interested to find out. I certainly do love, I love the Meteorite makeup, but I haven't tried much else really. I'd quite like one of their lipsticks. I think that would be quite nice. Richard, Uomo Casual Life, that's a nice one. Who's that by, Richard? A JLW has not worn the Blanc Violette, but I'm curious about it. It sounds like one I'd like. I will look that up. Actually, I'll look it up now because I'm really curious. And if I always say I'll look it up, I'll look it up. And you end up, you can't remember everything. So let's look it up right now while we're talking and find out about Blanc Violette. Hopefully it's on Fragrantica. Blanc Violette. Here we go. Histoires de Parfums, Blanc Violette. Just going to top my drink up while the computer mulls that one over. Here we go. So powdery, floral, woody, musky, soft, spicy and citrus are the main accords. let's see. It was launched in the 2000s. It's not being very specific about when it was launched. And we have notes of violet, iris and bergamot, ylang ylang, anise, we've got musk, sandalwood, vanilla, rice, powdery notes and more violet. So it sounds really good from the notes. I love the notes, they sound fantastic. Don't know why I've not tried this one yet, because it really does sound like my cup of tea. Looking at some reviews now, dusty vintage, fits nicely within their wheelhouse, mostly violet talcum powder with hints of rooty, carroty iris, whisper of something verdant and green, maybe violet leaf, ethereal and serene. Sounds really nice. Someone else is saying it's sharp and chemical in the opening, not bad in the dry down, someone else detects the scent of hospital. I love Fragrantica. Who loves Fragrantica? Someone else say more powder than violet. Bit synthetic with ylang ylang and iris in the middle. Someone else is raving about it. It's found their perfect scent. So certainly one to try. Sounds really nice. Must get my nose on that one. So let's crack open a new bottle then of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. We're cracking the seal live on Smoky Girly channel. I love opening a new bottle. Wish it was perfume. So we're probably coming to the end. I've got, I think I've only got two more to talk about, briefly. Two more to talk about. So we're coming to the end of the live stream. If anyone else has anything else they want to chat about, then get it out now. Whip it out and we'll talk about it. Feel free to share what is on your buy list, what's on your wish list, what you're sampling at the moment. But for now, I'm just going to smell the last two fragrances that I've got here. Olfactory records. JLW, the reviews are hilarious on that site, on Fragrantica. Yeah, they are. Everyday products. Coca-Cola is way too sweet in America. Can't stand it. I prefer European Coca-Cola. That's interesting. I didn't know there were different formulations. That's really interesting. So, my second to last fragrance, the actual sample is now empty and got thrown across the room. Not in temper or tantrum, I think more in laziness. So the one that we're talking about here is Papillon Angelique. So I just reviewed this week or quite recently. I just reviewed Papillon's Angelique, and there's no violet listed, but there is iris, and the iris comes off really violety in the opening, and it's absolutely beautiful. The notes are osmanthus, white champaca, orris, mimosa, frankincense and cedarwood. But the iris is the absolute star of the show, and the iris has very violety facets, particularly for the first sort of half hour to hour of wearing. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you love, generally speaking, if you love violet, you probably love iris and vice versa. And I think if you really love iris and you love violet, then you need to try Angelique from Papillon. So I used the whole sample up to do the review that I did the other day, and now it's on my buy list. I think it's going to be my next purchase, and I'll probably do that on payday, which is the 15th of the month. I get paid in the middle of the month, I've been a bit spendy with my teeth. They've cost me an absolute fortune. Look at them though. Look at them. So yeah, I've been really spendy the last few months sorting my teeth out. So I've had to be a little bit, I've had to rein it in a little bit, spending elsewhere. So, but I'm going to treat myself to one bottle of perfume once I get paid, and I believe that this is going to be the one. Angelique. It's iris and violet, and it's absolutely beautiful. Aussie Fragrances off. See you, Mark. G'day, mate. That was terrible, wasn't it? I can't do Australian accents, I don't think. G'day. What is it? Slap a shrimp on the barbie. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's terrible. Everyday products on my list is L'Instant Magique. Yes, I've only tried it briefly. Another Guerlain. Guerlain definitely do a lot of violet scents. Violet and iris, I think, are something that Guerlain do very well. It seems to be a star note of Guerlain, violet and iris. JLW, good to know you're getting a bottle. I need to try Angelique. It sounds really nice. It's really, really nice. It's very understated, very sophisticated. It's not like my usual style of gourmand fragrance, but it definitely teeters gourmand. But it's not full on, frivolous, flirty gourmand. It's very calming, peaceful, sophisticated kind of fragrance I would wear to a job interview. I mean, I'll wear it whenever I feel like wearing it, but it feels like it fits into the circumstance of being sensible and grown up and sophisticated and calm. And I like calm. Lizzie, can't wait to try Angelique. Still can't get over how much I fell head over heels for Tobacco Rose. I need a room with that one. Oh, so Lizzie's going to get a room with Tobacco Rose. Jon Snow, Tobacco and Rose. Let's make it a menage quatre. Rose and Joseph. Okay, this is getting a bit weird now, guys. You can't sleep with your perfumes. Actually, you can. What did I take to bed the other day? B. So I took B. When I unboxed B by Zoologist, I couldn't bear to part with it, so I took it to bed with me. Yeah, B is good. As a fragrance, obviously. So, that leaves one more. Right, are you ready for the last one? So I kind of saved my favourite one till last, and this is from Maison Violette. They're a French house, and this one's called Pourpre d'Automne. So Pourpre, I believe, means purple in French. Pourpre d'Automne, of autumn, so purple of autumn. And this is a beautiful, the house is called Violet, so come on, they're going to do Violet really well, aren't they? And what I love about this is it's not too sweet. So if you said to me, do I want a bottle of French Kiss by Guerlain, or do I want a bottle of Pourpre d'Automne by Maison Violet, I would pick Maison Violet without a shadow of a doubt, because the Maison Violet doesn't go too sweet. It's quite sweet, and it's a little bit gourmand, but it's not as full-on gourmand as Guerlain's French Kiss. It's, to me, it's like a chalky, powdery cherry bakewell. So chalky. It's so chalky, and it's such a good thing. Chalky, powdery cherry bakewell with a load of crushed Parma violet sweets on top, or if you like candied violets, so violet petals coated in sugar and really crispy. It's got a cool feel. It feels like it's a bit icy. It's almost like treading on crisp white clean snow. So JLW loves the plum note on the top of Poupre d'Automne. I've never really picked out plum, but I guess it's got it has a fruity feel. Red Cupid Bow Lips. Ooh, this is my favourite too. Isn't it gorgeous? It's absolutely gorgeous. And the thing with this is it's not linear. It changes. It smells like a perfume. It behaves like a perfume. It's a French house that have revived a historic French house. And they've tried to stay true to their roots, but they're bringing it to modern day noses. So this doesn't feel like an old school fragrance. It doesn't feel like they've just taken an old formulation and tried to make it. It feels modern, but it also feels like classic perfumery. Lizzie smelt that violet scent, bought a sample just after your review. It reminded me of being Marie Antoinette or something. France in the Georgian era. Soft and pretty, yes. The only thing with this fragrance, I wish it was a little louder, because it's so, for me, it's perfection. But I have to spray a lot. Because I want it to like reach out like here. But if you spray a normal amount, it's going to reach out that far from you. It's quite a translucent scent, but it is so gorgeous. I don't care. Oh, I literally could eat it. It does smell quite a lot like Parma violets. Red Cupid Violet, soft, feminine, and lasts forever. Yeah, longevity is good. I just love the fact that it has development. I can't even remember where it goes. It's been a while since I actually wore it. Actually, I did have it on my wrist the other day. To me, I literally just want to eat it. It's like violet scented white icing sugar that's crisped up. Like you've iced your cake, and it's just crisped up on the top, and it's got like a shiny, sparkly surface, like snow, like an ice rink. It's good. It's so good. So I bought two. So what happened? The reason I know about this house, or I found this house, was because they sent a set of these to Dan, Mr. Smelly, for us to do a frag chat on, or that's what we ended up doing. And I got through the Poupre d'Automne one of these pretty quickly, and so I ended up going on their site and buying 2 more travel sizes, because travel sizes work out actually cheaper per mil than the full bottle. So I'm a cheap ass bitch, and I thought I'll just get the travel sizes. I might buy a full bottle. I certainly will buy a full bottle once I've got through these, I think. But for now, I've got the 2 travel sizes. I've got only got that one, that left of that one, and that in that one. I think they're about the 10 mil mark. No, it's 7.5 mil. But I absolutely love them as a violet scent, and as a gourmand lover, they're perfect, absolutely perfect. Lizzie, Splendiris, yes, we did do Splendiris. That was the first one we smelt. Yes, it is really good, and it's got like the more greenery aspects to it as well, and a beautiful iris note. JLW is really light. I also wish it were larger sillage. Very curious about Iris de Nuit from James Healy. I believe I've smelt it in a shop, and obviously only smelt the top note and didn't get that excited, but yeah, you know what it's like. You smell a lot of stuff in shops, don't you? Until you actually wear something on your skin, you really don't know. You can go to a shop, smell the top notes of everything and think, everything was meh. But if you actually spend time, you'll probably find that you would have fallen in love with one of those fragrances. But it's like too many fragrances, not enough time, not enough skin, really. Okay, right. I think I'm going to call it a night because we are rolling on now. How long have we been going? 2 hours. I think 2 hours is long enough. No one's going to watch this back now. Always the way. So that, I think, is it. If anyone else wants a final word, get it in now. Otherwise, I am going to say good night. Thank you very much. I always appreciate you coming along, watching, joining in, sharing your knowledge and your experience and your love and passion of fragrances. I feel like we're just a big group of friends and we've got this one common interest that we like to share, and it feels like a social event, so I love that. So thank you everyone so much for coming along and making me have a lovely evening here. Therapeutic fragrance was working. Sorry for not commenting, but always enjoy your thoughts and perfume knowledge in the BG. Don't know what BG is, but thank you. Therapeutic fragrances. JLW, always so much fun. Good conversation. Good night. Lizzie, night all. Now it's time to decide on our night scent. Exactly. Yes, good point. Therapeutic fragrance. Have a great night. In the background. Okay. Thank you. Night, everybody. I will see you very, very soon, hopefully. Bye. Right, let's press this X in the corner. There we go.